So, if the Old Fashioned is one of the oldest cocktails in the book, why is there so many ways to make it? And how does yours measure up to the pros? In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 variations and the secret ingredient to leveling up your Old Fashions at home. If you want to know that secret, don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, I'm Shay with Mixology Flaired. Before we dive into the first 2 variations of the Old Fashioned, let's break down the 4 ingredients that make this amazing cocktail. From the whiskey that you choose, to the bitters, the sugar, and even the ice. Yeah, the ice. The ice is the most important part of any cocktail, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about the sugar first. Now, the choices of sugar that you have to make in this cocktail is really important, and that's how you understand how to manipulate this cocktail from home use, in the club, or in a speakeasy, and that's how the pros change their Old Fashioned from setting to setting. Depending on what bar or restaurant, some mixologists will choose an uncut piece of sugar, like the white or the brown demerara sugar that you're used to seeing. Other mixologists choose the perfectly square white piece of sugar cube that you can get at any local grocery store. But whenever you're at home, it's always just easier to make a simple syrup. So that's what we're gonna do today when making our home version of the Old Fashioned. Start with a fresh glass and your simple syrup that you make at home. Now the simple syrup that you make at home is just 50-50 sugar and water. Take a cap or a bar spoon right into the bottom of the glass. You're gonna wanna grab your Angostura Bitters. Now I know that there's a variety of bitters that you can get at the local grocery store, but you wanna look for the one with the yellow top. The recipe calls for 3 to 5 dashes. I personally choose 4, but it's completely up to you. The most inexpensive bottle of whiskey that I found today was Jim Beam, right around 10 bucks. And I'm sure you have a shot glass like this lying around your home. The recipe calls for 2 ounces of bourbon. Now the great part of doing it like this is that you don't have to muddle a sugar cube like you would in a restaurant. All the ingredients are already mixed together. Now this is the part of the creation of the cocktail that really changes from the home bartender to the pro bartender. Your refrigerator ice is full of impurities, and that's why it's cloudy and white, where a big piece of crystal clear ice like this that you would get at most of your restaurants and speakeasies, but you can really order these from an ice company that's in your local area and have it delivered to your home. Really steps up your home Old Fashions. But on a side note, you don't have to stir it as long as the other big pieces of ice, because the dilution of this ice is really fast. So when we talk about a balanced cocktail, there's gotta be just enough water in this drink to kind of smooth it out. And if you don't have any bar tools at home, you don't really need them. Give it a little shake like this, stir it with your finger, but if you really wanna save the turtles, you can get a paper straw or a Surfside sip straw like this, and just stir it. Now if you go out to your garden, pick a fresh orange like this, bust out your cutting board, your favorite knife, cut off a little peel like this, and all the good oils are on the outside of the skin. You wanna squeeze that over the top of the cocktail like this. 1, 2, maybe give it a little twist, run it along the outside, and drop it right in. This is the best home version of the Old Fashioned that you can probably make, given the circumstances of refrigerator ice. Let's give it a try. It smells really good right off the top. Now let's talk about the pro version. All right, now what's the difference between the home version and a pro bartender or mixologist version? Let's talk about it. A pro bartender usually starts with a mixing glass like this to make all of the ingredients in. We'll do the same. When I'm at work, a nightclub, a bar, I use the regular white sugar cubes like this. I drop it right inside. A pro bartender sometimes we'll have the Angostura Bitters right out of the bottle. Other pro bartenders will have a little fancy dropper like this one. I still do the same, 4 drops, but you can choose 3 to 5, really is your choice. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you drop 1 or 2 drops of soda water right on top of the sugar cube, it's gonna help dissolve the sugar cube faster. Grab a muddler like this, break up that sugar cube, grind it, turn it into a paste. You don't want chunks of sugar laying at the bottom of the cocktail when you're all done. Today we're gonna do bullet bourbon. The cocktail still calls for 2 ounces of bourbon. A pro bartender is gonna have some hand-cracked ice readily available to stir cocktails. We're just gonna break it so it's a little easier to manage and stir. And while I'm stirring this, if you could go hit the subscribe button, that'd be amazing. Some pro bartenders actually say 30 to the right, 30 to the left. Just give it a good 30 seconds or so. I like that. Let's drop a big rock in there. Grab your orange and a peeler. Peel off a peel for the garnish. Remember, the oils are on the outside, so when you're squeezing the oils onto the cocktail, squeeze it down and into the top of the drink so it doesn't go all over your bar. 1, 2, give it a little twist. Drop it right down in there. Your pro old fashioned. Let's give it a taste. Ah, it's amazing. I love the aesthetic of the big ice cube. It really sets this drink apart. Now let's get into the third variation. This is how we've separated our old fashions from the rest of the pack. Now you see, the old fashioned is such a subjective cocktail. It really is up to you to take the template, the simple template of the old fashioned, whiskey, sugar, bitters, and kind of make it your own. Really understand how to manipulate each one of the ingredients, what options you have to play with out there, and how to make it your own. A couple ways that we figured out how to change up our old fashioned, make it completely our own. One, our garnish is a little bit different than most. We also ordered this ice stamp to put our insignia right on top of the ice, so each guest knows it came from one of our mixologists. And you can do the same by customizing your old fashioned by getting a signature ice stamp or even a Garnish brand to put your insignia on top of the garnish. But enough about that. This is how we like to make it here at Mixology Flaired. We always start with a little style. White sugar cube, bitters, a little touch of soda water. Let's break up that ice cube. We really like the Buffalo Trace. Still 2 ounces. Still hand-cracked ice. Stir it for 30 seconds. Dilute that ice. Big cube. Ice stamp. And while the stamp is cooking on top of this ice, we're gonna pour our cocktail. So our garnish, the way that we garnish our cocktail is 1 lemon peel and 1 orange peel. And to keep it sexy, we just clean it up a little bit, cut the ends off and make it look a little bit more modern. Same as before, all the oils are on the outside of the lemon and the orange peel. Express the oils down and into the cocktail. Little 1, 2 and a little twist. Drop that right in there. And that's our version of the old fashioned. I really hope that you enjoyed this cocktail as much as I did. As much as I'm gonna enjoy drinking this, I hope you enjoy drinking yours. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, double bump that bell. Make sure you're notified every single time we're doing another crazy thing somewhere in the world or making some amazing cocktails like this. We'd love to have you back at our bar anytime. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Cheers.